right, well, first there was quiet quitting, then there was quiet hiring. Now there's something called rage applying. So the question is, what exactly is it?
Yeah, Vicki Salemi is a career expert from Monster and is joining us now to explain. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, so tell us, what is rage applying?
Yes, rage applying happens when you apply not to one, not to two, but basically 10 jobs.
Oh, wow.
Is applying to jobs fast and fastidiously in multiples.
I feel like that it's a numbers game, though, if you're thinking about it. I mean, I feel like some people date the same way. They're like, you know, 1, 2, 3. So what's motivating people to be so aggressive in terms of how they apply?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Tamsin. Number one is the point of no return. They are done with their job. They're done quietly quitting. Now they're basically saying, I have one foot out the door. And at Monster, we know from our survey, 4 out of 5 workers said they currently work in a toxic workplace. So typically, toxic workplaces are among the top of the list, along with, you know, getting underpaid, being under-recognized, things like that.
So I know in the past we have heard to tailor your resume to each job that you apply for. So with this, it seems like it's a lot. So is this a bad thing, or are there any downsides to this?
There really aren't, Arnie, and I'm glad you asked that as well, because what happens is a lot of times when job seekers see a job that looks interesting, they wait, or they may miss the boat, or they talk themselves out of it. Meanwhile, it's not a job offer. It's just, hey, you can apply. So there really aren't any downsides. I mean, as soon as you see a job, you should definitely apply. And then during the interview process, then you decide whether or not you want to accept their offer.
So here's the question. Can employers tell that you're rage applying? Or potential employers?
Yes and no. And I could say when I worked in corporate recruiting, I could always tell. I mean, it wasn't called rage applying, but you could tell because in the dashboard, you can see what jobs the same person applied to in that company. So I saw if a candidate applied to 10 jobs, they were literally all over the country, all levels within the company. And I'm like, okay, this person, and then when you talk to them, they just seem scattered. They're not focused. They're all over the place. Not to generalize, but that was my experience compared to someone who maybe applies to 3 or 4 similar jobs, different locations, maybe all in the same family or adjacent departments. And that seems like that's fine because you seemed more focused. But employers typically, if they see job seekers applying to jobs in multiple, like rage applying with them, usually they're not going to be a fit.
But intentional is certainly more attractive.
Yes.
Okay, so during the application process, what should job seekers actually be looking for?
Yes, so glad you asked, because the key is look for the right fit. So if you're a job seeker, you want to look for, let's say, salary, you know, pay transparency laws in New York, look for the responsibilities, the type of company, the culture, the benefits, the perks, the commute. That all comes down to the right fit. And at Monster, we talk about that a lot in terms of, it's one thing to rage apply, but don't rage accept. When you go through the job interview process, think strategically, be calm, cool, and collected. And remember, you're interviewing them the same way they were interviewing you.
Well, Vicki, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. It's always good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, for more career advice or to search for open jobs, you can always go to monster.com.